Hey everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I'd like to welcome you all back to my channel on YouTube. Spirit to Spirit teaches going with itself. On TikTok, 1974 Light Soul, and also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I would recommend, suggest, encourage people to read the description of my YouTube channel, Spirit to Spirit teaches going with itself, to get a better understanding of what my channel is about. As a lot of you know, like this is. Don't know when the last time it was in life, but it's been a bit. And if you're new to my channel, I usually just randomly come up at no set time and random topics, and sometimes it's what spirit brings me. And yesterday I was watching different videos, and I've been hearing we're going down the rabbit hole. Okay, and the reason why we're going down the rabbit hole is because yesterday when I was scrolling through TikTok, there's a lot of videos. Lately you've been hearing Donald Trump saying Tesla. Okay? So I got thinking Tesla, and I heard like them say about some people manipulate words or what have you. Okay? And is that part of what is he manipulating words for? Okay, people say it's dementia. Yes, okay. But it's that part of sometimes it's not always that it's that. You know? Because see, interestingly enough, I went in and I Googled the meaning of Tesla. And let me see this. And when I Googled the meaning of Tesla, it said Tesla, one, like the dot dot, Jewish, Eastern Ashkenazic, Ashkenazic, occupational name for Yiddish Tesla carpenter, English variant of Tesla. So I looked up what Eastern Ashkenazic, please, I'm not pronouncing it right, don't take offense to it. Okay? So when I Googled the Eastern Ashkenazic, sorry, I'm not going to keep apologizing for saying it wrong. But it brought me to the Ashkenazi Jews, which was really strange to me. Like I could feel that movement in my body right now, because when I said the word Jews, I felt it in my body. Now I want people to remember. Sorry, I said something. Remember and think of it this way, okay? They say that Donald Trump's daughter is Jewish, her and her husband, okay? And with regards to other things, like you're looking at Nazi Germany, I'm not going to say Schnazi or whatever people say. Say this, I'm not saying on a live, and if that's keeping my algorithms from moving and saying I'm not violating nothing. It's that part of people are censoring themselves. Okay? Because to take something and make it sound so soft when it's been so freaking brutal. I'm still seeing people doing tarot card readings, and they're taking the image of the naked woman, a cartoon image, and they're covering her or saying, oh, I can't show that. It's the language of spirit, because I speak multiple languages come out of my mouth, so just all at once, because it's spirit, all forms of spirit speaking sometimes at the same time. Okay? So when I found this, it was very interesting to me, back being because Donald Trump's daughter is Jewish, and, like I don't know what the Islamic oath is, but I was told by a Freemason back in 2020 that Donald Trump took the Islamic oath. So it says also known as Ashkenaz Jews or Ashkenazim form a distinct subgroup of the Jewish dysophia, dysorphia, D-I-S or D-I-A-S-P-O-R-A. Sorry, I'm not that great at, like I didn't say that I was popular, that I could. There are no issues displayed, but okay. That emerged in the Holy Roman Empire and around the end of the first millennium. They traditionally speak Yiddish, a language that originated in the 9th century. Largely migrated towards northern and eastern Europe. I better put that down because I just felt something that just wanted to throw that. Yeah, like my channel's not for everyone. You'll see my body go spastic and doesn't look sometimes, because I know that what I'm doing is bringing truth forward, and it's glitching, it's moving, it's shifting. Son of a bugger. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. They're like, get your desk, get your thing out. Oh, I got survival kit. Oh, doing the whole thing. I have a oh my god. Drawer. I gotta figure out how to fix my drawer because I got I have a temper. I take it out on all the objects. No, I just like was looking for something. I thought something got caught, so I tried shoving my desk drawer in a little too hard. Okay. Uh, and largely migrated towards northern and eastern Europe during the late Middle Ages due to prostitution. That sounds a lot like what they say that Jesus and Mary Magdalene in the North. Hebrew was primarily used as a literary and scared language, sacred language, until its 20th century rival as a common language in Israel. See, to think of like going on and looking up the word Tesla because Donald Trump always looked it up, and then we're going to go down another part of the rabbit hole. And we're going to look up because didn't he say Isaac Neutron? So he's directing you towards something to do with neutron, right? Or some guy in Mukotay, yo no sé, estudia de habilidad y todo. May not know language, but that's fine. He said it. Archaism, Ashkenazim, adopted their traditions to Europe and underwent a transformation in their interpretation of Judaism. Now, my aunt, well, she's not my aunt anymore, But she was telling me that I needed to prove stuff to her. It's like, hey, how about you prove some shit to me? Because you can't. I'm going down rabbit holes. I'm finding out about my family. And I even told her it's her children's ancestors too, who were rabbis. And other parts of the family were Christian, Catholic, Lutheran, and Protestant, and just, it was all a slew. They all had religious feels. The family was in that aspect. They knew all the secrets. And that's why they had so much come on them. They ran. This year, they ran to Europe. And then in 1750, 51, 1749, 50, 49, 50, 51, and 52, they were all coming over on the ships. And my great granddad, my seventh great granddaddy, was the only Byzantine that come over. Him and his wife and his children. But his wife died, and he had a few children that died, and I don't know where the rest are. But my Grammy, my second great Grammy on, well, it'd be my grandmother on my grandfather's side, because they were first cousins, because my Grampy's father's brother is the father of my grandmother. So it'd be both of their, sorry, no, it would just be on my Grampy's side, because, well, she would have been my grandmother's aunt. Okay, so she would be my mother's great aunt and my great great aunt. Okay, because she married my grandfather's father. Or no, she was the mother of, yeah, holy shit, man. What do you see doing? I got it right here. So she was my great great Grammy. She was the Levi. But before that, they were Halevi. Levi. Okay. So her father and his father before him, and before him, and before him, before him, before him, before him, they were all rabbis. So if my aunt is siding with Donald Trump and all these other ones that, you want to be like German Nazi again, going after your ancestors. What the fuck's your problem? Seriously. People don't like me for this. I don't care. That's the problem. Everybody's saying truth and reconciliation, and they're not doing any truth and reconciliation. They're just too busy focused on all the bullshit that's happening instead of looking at your own ancestry line and realizing that you're fighting with your fucking family, whether you believe it or not. And they know that you are. Because if you think that they don't know who the fuck you are, why do you think they keep a check on you? Why do you think they got birth certificates? Why do you think that it's always blood work and everything like that? They're checking to see who you are. They're checking your bloodline. So they fucking say it. They don't like me for this. He said that to me, what's that thing? This is a spirit to spirit. So if anybody takes offense to it, then I guess you're connected to those spirits. But it's not about you taking offense to it. It's about I speak my ancestors' language. But people say, oh, well, God's not written. No. If God, source, spirit, creator is not real, then you explain me. And it's not gibberish. Whether, I could still hear you, whether you're right or not. Mysticism adopted their tradition to Europe and underwent transformation in their interpretation of Judaism. In the late 18th and 19th century, Jews who remained in or returned to historical German lands experienced a culture reorientation. It's the same as what they did here when our ancestors migrated to the Maritimes in Canada. They did the same thing then. They took our languages from us. It wasn't just the indigenous, it was when we come over, my ancestors, they spoke German, French, Swiss, English. They even spoke a multitude of languages. And that's what you're getting from me because I'm connected with the and they tried taking the languages from us because, you all have to speak English. This country was not originally an English-speaking country. It was speaking multitude of languages, only, colonize everyone. Fuck you and your colonization. Seriously, how about you let us teach each other the old ways? The ways that didn't hurt people. They come in and they hurt you and your family and everything like that, and you fucking stand up and say, "Oh, I'm standing up for the Matrix." Mega bullshit, right? Don't tell me you believe in God if you're siding with Donald Trump and his fucking crony buddies because you don't give two shits about God. You say Jesus. Fucking rob you blind. Oh wait, he is. I seen something about Elon Musk. Oh, because he's losing money and he won't have any money when he goes on when he gets old. In the old age, well, I guess he's fucking ain't gonna have old age security either, is he? If he's fucking destroying it, and the people only have themselves to look at. Look into your ancestral line and find that caring part again. Don't look. Don't like me. I don't care. Under the influence of the Hashkalah and the struggle for emancipation, as well as the intellectual and cultural ferment in urban centers. Some gradually abandoned Yiddish in favor of German and developed new forms of Jewish religious life and culture identity. Seriously, go look into this stuff yourself. You say you want change in the world. You want the world a better place. Well, to them, to your controllers, you're not profitable, you want Elon Musk in, but you don't want a union. But wait a minute, wait until you need that fucking union. I keep seeing 1944. So, see, I even looked out that the two Jewish community, they separated. one had the belief of, the far right conservative, where, you're a piece of shit if you're not of the same of them. And then the other aspect of it where everybody is equal to each other. You believe the same. You know what? Because you know, seriously, fucking grow up, people. Jewish identity is the objective and subjective sense of perceiving one's self as Jew and as relating to being Jewish. It compresses elements of nationhood, ethnicity, religion, and culture. Broadly defined, Jewish identity does not rely on whether one is recognized as Jews by others or by one is recognized as Jewish or by external religious, legal, or sociology standards. Jewish identity does not need to imply religious orthodoxy. Accordingly, Jewish identity can be ethnic or cultural in nature. Jewish identity can involve ties to the Jewish community. Holy snapping arseholes. Oh, bring it on. Jewish culture is the culture of the Jewish people from its formation in ancient times until the current age. Judaism itself is not simply a faith-based religion, but an orthodoxy and Etherean religion pertaining to deed, practice, and identity. Jewish culture covers many aspects. Okay? See, Christians want to get rid of Christians want to get rid of Jews. Jews want to get rid of Christians or Muslims or Christians or Muslims and Jews or what have you. Okay, so in other words, like the two forms of Christianity too, same as the Jewish community. I did my homework. I looked into that. Some parts of Jewish people and Christians come together. Same the others. So this is why it's like test work. This brought me to this. See, things that you think are just foolish and simple and silly and everything like that, maybe it's clues. You are in the world of risk, you not for your clue. Where the fuck do you think they invented those things? Seriously. Isn't risk about more? Monopoly. Monopoly is about you gotta have your big buildings, you gotta have your big hotels. You don't see the Don't forget, you can't afford that. Oh, you gotta mortgage it. Plumbing. You do not pay this, you go directly to jail. You got your rich side, and you got your medium side, and you got your poor side. And I had somebody tell me that, I'm wrong. And my reality, I'm in reality. You're in fucking denial. This ain't directed towards any certain person. It's a spirit to spirit. Because I don't look at people as being so much as a person. You're an avatar. But I see past your reflections, past this. They had a thing on where Elon Musk supposedly said that empathy is weakness. No. If you think empathy is weakness, you might want to wake the fuck up. Because empathy is far from weakness. It may hurt, but by fuck, you play on somebody's empathy and you see if that lion don't come out to win. Throughout the centuries, Ashkenazism made significant contributions to Europe's philosophy, scholarship, literature, art, music, and science. You know, they're trying to get rid of things like, okay, with regards to school, they're trying to get rid of the education system. You know, they're trying to get rid of all this stuff instead of, like, you know, it's up to the people to have a backup. Because that's what you're doing. Like, you need to restructure everything. What is the priorities that should be taught in school? You know, first off, life skills for one. You need to teach, like, how to, like, cook. It's a necessity. How to make clothes and sew is a necessity. Then you're not going out and depending on, like, a company that people are saying, oh, well, it's child labor, or everything's made like a piece of shit. What are you doing about it? You know, you let them take all this, like, they took all, not you let them, but you never stood up for it. Industrial arts. I took industrial arts. We did drafting. We built things. Hey, I built. Oh shit! Ollie's hairing all over the place. My geez, Broly, you're shedding bad. This here. My dog bed on the tree. But this here. This is 35 years old. And I made that. I made a skirt before too. When we were in home, they call it home ec. You learn how to make clothes. That was your project. You learn how to make clothes. You learn how to use a sewing machine. You learn how to cook. And they took all that because, oh, well, now you have to do all this other stuff. You have to know about all the fighting that took place. And it's not all even right. How much stuff went missing? You know, in Germany, not Nazi Germany, didn't they like start burning books? You know, on a computer, they can manipulate anything they want. Somebody say, oh, well, maybe they manipulated this. Well, maybe they did. Or maybe somebody is manipulating and putting in truth. It's up to you to use your fucking discernment. and I can feel that. Would you like me to help you? Spirit to spirit. Kile kutukulia suluhisho na kisivyo haikupita. You know, teach like make money, but they don't teach you anything. They don't really show you how you got to this or how they got to this. They just do it that way. And if you don't get it or you see it differently, then they get pissed off and irritated. You're put in a school and you're made to sit, which, you know, people are more productive when they're moving around. They're actually, when they're moving around, they're actually paying more attention. You get the hands-on. Hands-on instead of here, take fucking notes. Take notes. Write it all down so it programs in your brain. Don't learn how to do it. Write it down. Do I have histrionics? Or am I just very fucking expressive? Weekdays, you know, as a proportion of the world Jewish population, Ashkenazim, 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 were established to be 3% in the 11th century, rising to 62% in 1930, near the population's peak. The Ashkenazi population was significantly diminished by the Holocaust, carried out by Nazi Germany during World War II, which killed some 6 million Jews, affecting practically every European Jewish family. You know, whether you like a certain culture or not, where's your fucking heart? What, you think you're a white man? You think there's no white Jewish people? You can be any color and any freaking religion you want. It's like that's what they were doing in. They were trying to get rid of them in France too, in 1756. That was right out. That started basically right after or right around the same time that my seventh great granddaddy got scalped by Edward Cornwallis. Seriously. And his 1.5-year-old son was standing there. He was pregnant, standing there. But, you know, the community thought was told that it was an Indian. what I got was not an opinion. I got that it was Edward Cornwallis himself. Go watch Frozen. Frozen 2, where she finds out that on her the family on her mother's side, the chief was scalped. And he was scalped by her grandfather on her father's side. I had a guy who went to one of the holistic craft fairs, and I had a guy who was just looking up, and he said he knew me from a past life, and we were burned alive during Cornwallis. So for somebody to tell me that I have no, like, oh, you got no qualifications, fuck you, I know how to research, I know how to read and understand shit. Must be a Donald Trump that thinks he knows everything but knows nothing all at the same time. European Jewish family. In 1933, prior to World War II, the estimated World War Jewish population was 15.3 million. Israeli demographer and statistician Sergio Di Pergola implied the Ashkenazim comprised 65 to 70% of Jews worldwide in 2000, while others estimates suggest more than 75% as of 75%. As of 2013, the population was estimated to be between 10 million and 11.2 million. So it dropped by approximately 5 million. Genetic studies indicate that Ashkenazim have both the VT, Levantine, and European, mainly Southern and Eastern European ancestry. I did have a video. I don't know that. Eastern European ancestry. So that's us. That's you. Your ancestors came here to Canada. That's your family. People say, oh, well, they're not family because they're so distant. So? What the shit? These studies draw deriving conclusions about the degree and source of European admixture today occurs when previously isolated populations interbreed, resulting in a population that is descendant from multiple sources. It can occur between species such as with hybrids or within species such as when geographically distant individuals migrate to new regions in the result of a gene pool. So what are they saying? Are they trying to say we're nuts? Because I'll tell you right now, they're not so good. You know, it's like looking at the Titans and the Olympians. And the mother and father of the Titans and the Olympians was Uranus and Neptune. You know, some people don't believe on that. Oh, well, think of it this way. They say we keep coming back, children, 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 children. Okay? Dying in Uranus were originally twin flames. Much like, well, it was, if you think of Gaia and Uranus, and you think of Adam and Eve, or not Adam and Eve, but Adam and Lilith, okay? Because Adam and Lilith, they came from the same, they came at the same time. They were made, created together, and separated from itself. But you know, oh, scholars won't believe that. Too fucking bad for you. Not being ignorant, but you know what? Because you're reading one book when in order to understand your biblical text, you actually have to look at it all. Because if you look, it's like when you look in your biblical text, everything is jumping all over the place. Why is it jumping all over the place? Because all the story is all in different compartments. It's like a mental, mental filing cabinet, and then everything is just stored. It's just like put in and put in and put in, and nothing's put in right. It's just all over the fucking place. So it's like one big massive mind fuck, and then you're left trying to sort out the filing cabinet. It's like think of it. I'm not saying that religion is like mental health, but the mental capacity of it all. The brain goes in over, and then it just, and then everything's scattered all over the place. So you got bits and pieces here and there and everywhere. But if you actually all took the time to sit and talk with one another with regards to your biblical text, no matter what biblical text or book it is, you might understand the story better. You might understand your own feelings within yourself, because ask yourself, like, why are you so against a different religion? Why are you so against a different culture? Let me see, because you grew up like that, right? Because you were taught that, right? Why don't you actually, like, instead of looking at one book and the same type of narrative of those books, start putting it all together, because it's a fucking it's a puzzle. You know, you got pieces of puzzles scattered all over the place, and you have to find pieces that match up. It's like there's certain things that are left out. If you looked at my writings, in all honesty, I have different things here, there, and everywhere. Do you think that maybe like certain people weren't writing different things and leaving them in different places? So you say John 1, John 2, John 3, or what have you. Was it necessarily that it was different people? Or was it a volume, but separated? Parts left here and parts left there. You know, didn't they say that they fucking traveled all over the place? So where did they find these bits and pieces? I had one of my journals and I ended up taking it into a store because I had something written in it, and I ended up forgetting it. And then when I went back, oh, well, you don't have the little fucking shit you had. You took it and you fucking read it. Or you tried. Because unless you're actually the one who wrote it, you're not going to understand what it was that they were fucking talking about. Cryptic was how they understood it. The same as when I went in and I started doing stars and galaxies in university. Well, I didn't stay in and do it. The reason why I did it is because I was interpreting stars and galaxies like the human body. The chakras. The chakras represents like the planets. But see, this is the stuff that, you know, certain religions, that's a taboo on, which, in all honesty, that's foolishness. And, you know, I read in the book with regards to Mary Magdalene, the mother, Mary. And Jesus has said about things being foolishness. And what he meant by foolishness, it was more of fighting over who believes what and not seeing the bigger picture in it all. That it's all being, it's truth, it's stories. What frame of mind were they in when they were writing it? What did they witness that they were writing? What did they understand and what didn't they understand and interpret it their way when it was actually meant to be interpreted differently? You know, why is it not okay for everybody to say, like, you know, I interpret it this way, how do you interpret it? And then actually see the similarities so that you can get to the truth. So when Donald Trump kept saying Tesla, he knew it was Tesla, but he was telling you something. He may be an old goat, and he may be chaos. So chaos was the father or great grandfather of Gaia. No wonder I say he's a pompous ass. He's told a grumpy old man attached himself to me. Yeah, he is fucking grumpy. These studies draw deriving conclusions about the degree and source of European admixtures, with some focusing on the European genetic origin in Ashkenazi material lineage, contrasting with the predominantly Middle Eastern genetic origins in parental lineage or paternal lineage. Etymology. The name Ashkenaz derives from the biblical feature of Ashkenaz, Ashkenaz, the son of Gomer. And I find it very humorous because, years ago when the kids were little, we do these names like Esmeralda and Bertha and Wilma and Betty and stuff. And I was Gomer. And Ashkenaz in the Hebrew Bible is one of the descendants of Noah. Ashkenaz is the first son of Gomer. And one day I went over to the church across the road and I told them at the church, Noah and Sarah. Or no, that's Abraham and Sarah. I told him that he was like they were Abraham and Sarah. And Abraham's father's name was Tara. Like, whenever I looked up Tara, it would bring that up. Terah. My name's Tara. And Abraham wasn't even fond of his own father because he was mystical. The first son of Gomer and Japheth coverage in the Table of Nations. The rabbinic literature, the descendants of Ashkenaz were first associated with the Scythian culture, then later with Slavic territories. See, people don't know this stuff. Some people say, well, I don't care to know it. Well, good for you. Go back to the matrix until you're ready to step out. Son of Japheth, son of Noah, and a Japhetitic porridge in Table of Nations, Genesis 10. The name of Gomer has often been linked to the Cimmerians, Cimmerians, were an ancient Eastern Iranic Inquisition Nordic people oriented in the Putic Caspian steppe, part of whom subsequently migrated into West Asia. Although the Cimmerians, Cimmerians were culturally Scythian. They formed an ethnic unit separate from the Scythians, proper to whom the Sumerians were related and who displaced and replaced the Sumerians. The Sumerians themselves left no written records, and most information about them is largely derived from Neo-Assyrian records of the 18th or of the 8th to 7th century BC, and from Curical Rome, authors from the 5th century BC and later. The biblical Assyrians is usually derived from Assyrian, cuneiform, a people who expelled the Sumerians from the Americana or Armenian area of Upper Euphrates. Euphrates. Didn't say I could read all that well. I'm doing great. Don't like it, you know where the door is. I didn't came in on your own. The name Ashurish, Ashurus is identified with the Syrians. The intent, holy shit, man. The intrusive in the biblical name is likely due to the scribal error, confusing a bar with a nun. That was the same as when people came here. If people didn't understand the handwriting of different people, they would change the spelling of it. That's why I say, like, how you interpret it may not be the way that somebody else is interpreting. This is where you're getting this, like, back and forth, because everybody's hollering at each other, but you're not really looking at the overall bigger picture of it. You know, you're just not just one country. You're a world of countries. We're meant to be experiencing the world together, experiencing every country. It's not that, you know, people are saying, well, oh, there's too many migrations coming in, or immigrants, or what have you. There's enough for everybody. But it's greed that keeps it from happening. I watched a thing on TikTok, a woman saying, like, you know, you do see a bunch of food in these fucking dumpsters. You go to the grocery store, you go to other places, and where they put all the food, they put it in the dumpsters. What the fuck are they throwing food out for? And then saying people are starving. You know, if food is that fucking disposable, why don't you just lower the price on it? You'd rather throw food out than sell it for a cheaper price? Oh, wait. Well, that's because you get a big chunk of insurance from it, assholes. You're fucking right, I got an attitude. I'm heart with attitude. You take it how you want. In Jeremiah 51:27, Ashkenazi features as one of three kingdoms in the far north, the others being Mini and Ararat, corresponding to Uritu, called on by God to reset Babylon. We're in times of Babylon now. Babylon's falling. And people say, like, it's God falling. No. It's the corruption, it's the greed, it's the through sins, it's systems integrated into society. that's fallen. And it's up to us, the people, to make it right so that it serves the people and not an elite or somebody else, some big group of people's agendas. Some people say we're in a prison. Well, hey, we should be learning to work together because there's enough people that you can build. People can build a house, but they're told, "Oh, well, you can't build the house because you ain't got a college degree. You ain't got university." Or, "Oh, you can't build it. You can't build a house. You can't put a shitter in your house because you have to go in and you have to get this piece of paper that says that we say you got permission to, and it's your fucking land." All these specs that they have. Oh, it's for safety regulations. Look at the fucking houses. They're made from fucking press board. Where's your safety there? Here, I'm going to walk up to the wall. I'm going to put a hole in the house. I'm pissed off. Bruce, yeah. Seriously. These big corporations, you really think that they have all these specs and codes that are met? Fuck no. They buy their way through. Ugh. In Talmud, Yoma, Melgala, Megala, the name Gomer is written as Germanian, which elsewhere in rabbinical literature was identified as Germanikia in northwestern Syria. It's a historical Marashan city in the Mediterranean region of Turkey. In northwestern Syria, but later became associated with the German area in Genesis Ribaha. Rabbi Berchman mentions Angus Riprath and Torgamel as German tribes or as German lands. So if you go right back, okay, you have Inky and Enlil. You have Inky and Enlil. Probably have it somewhere in here. And that was the same as the two brothers, two Jewish brothers. Same thing. That's why I say, if you read the biblical text and you read the story, you read the stories, you read what you perceive to be true, and then you start putting those pieces of the puzzle together. because it's like a sentence is half finished, and where did the rest of it go? You're left filling in that blank. You're interpreting where their thoughts were. You're interpreting what they were writing. But you're also seeing what somebody else wrote, because they don't want you going in and deciphering it yourself. See, when you go to university, what they do is they're teaching half-truths. They're teaching bits and pieces of stuff and leaving other things out because they're picking through what they want to teach you. But they're only teaching what, they've been allotted to teach you. But that's where they should, like, teachers should say, hey, you want to actually teach a student? Stop following the dogma. The best teachers are teachers that understand it through ways of experience. My therapist wants me to do a thing. I'm not very good at homework, but it's like writing down what I'm feeling or something like that. And what's running through my mind? Well, nothing really runs through my mind. It's like I'm not brain dead, but I feel like I am sometimes because I don't. It's not that I'm speaking from my mind. I'm seeing what my heart is speaking. It's coming through my throat chakra. It's spirit that's speaking. And I know when people are trying to shut me up, or there's many people on here that their throat chakra is saying, "I'm going to scream it out." And then when it comes to that point and you scream it out, it's not going to come out in the way that you want it to or were hoping it would. So it's better to allow your throat chakra to move. Instead of us all saying, "Well, I'm right and you're wrong." Who are you to say that they're wrong? Do you know their story? Do you know what's in their book? Do you know how they're interpreting it? People are saying about the Anunnaki, but some people say aliens aren't real. Fuck, they're not. If you think that humans are the only thing in the universe, oh my jeez. You're so deep in the matrix that it's not funny. And that's not being rude, that's being honest. Because I'll guarantee you've seen some strange shit and you just passed it off. Or you were afraid to tell anybody about it because they put you in the fucking funny phone. But it's not so fucking funny anymore. Because they don't. I've been there 4 times and they never get it. You line up at night for your pill. You line up in the morning for your pill. And if you don't go line up for your pill, they'll fucking chase you down. Then you're in there and you're trapped in there. You don't get to go out unless you have a shit that says, "Oh yeah, this person can go for a walk." They can lock your door on you anytime. You sit in front of a fucking TV, or you play. You be like it's like you're a fucking kid. Here's some colored pencils and crayons. We're gonna lock the kitchen on you, by the way, and you got to come to the front desk and ask us or to pour you some water in a cup. That's what it was like. It was like a fucking prison. And it's supposed to be a place of healing. That ain't no place of healing. That's the place that you go and you just can't wait to fucking get out of there. Do you know when I was in like when you go in there, do you know they even write down what you fucking ate and how much you ate? They write down who came in to visit you and whether they brought you something or not, brought you food. You're not a fucking prisoner, but they treat you like one. Lights out. And they do that. They want you to go to bed by, 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11 o'clock. That's the maximum. Lights out. Go to your room. Seriously. You ever been in one? It's like walking around like a fucking zombie. Everybody getting excited. Oh, I get to go for a smoke. You're there for healing. But they're fucking treating you like a piece of shit, like you're a prisoner. Oh, we'll come talk to you like maybe once a week. And that's only to see how you're doing on your meds. I was at one place and I was there for about a week or a few days to a week. And the staff, they were pretty good. They'd actually take you, but you always had to have supervision. You're not a criminal, but you're treated like one. Sometimes to be able to just go outside for a walk, you have to be there a week, and the doctor's going to give you permission, even when you're in there voluntarily. That's human rights. Questa Your system likes you or not, it can go fuck itself. As German tribes or as German lands. Ashkenazar, Kazakh, Ashkenazar. I had it. Is linked to Skaza, Skazia, Scandiza, viewed as the cradle of Germanic tribes as early as 6th century, both to the Historia Ecclesiastica and Espizia. Yeah. Ecclesiastica of Eufeius. You can always look it up for yourself. In the 10th century history of Armenia, of Yovanestis Delrus Hianakritic, YovhanansXANAKERTC, 5.1, also called John V, the historian, was Catholios of Armenia from 897 to 925, and a note chronicler and historian. He is known for his history of Armenia. He is also the author of a list of American cavalry Catholic titled Go read it. Ash Ashkenaz was associated with Armenia as it was original, occasionally in Jewish usage, where its denotation extended at times to holy shit, man, some of these names. Adiabene, Kashmiria, Crimea, and areas of the east. His contemporary Sadia Gaon identified as Triesa. Well, I can't pronounce it right. With the, oh my Jesus, Saquiliva or Selvek territories, and such usage covered also the lands of tribes neighboring the Selves and Eastern and Central Europe in modern times. Samuel Pursh identified the biblical Ascaris with Caesarea, Khazar. Sometimes in the early medieval period, the Jews of Central and Eastern Europe came to be called by this term. Oh, just conforming the custom of designing areas of Jewish settlement with biblical dates. Spain was denominated Sepharad Oltaria, Obadiah. France was called Tesserfat, 1 Kings 17:9. That's where my ancestors were from, France. And if you look in your own genealogy, into your own ancestors, you will find out for yourself. Donald Trump's father or grandfather was from Germany. Was German. And then his grandmother was from Scotland. Some people interpret or believe that Jewish people came from also. And his grandfather was the same as Donald Trump. They liked to run their brothels and gambling. His grandfather even had private rooms for ladies. And you people want to look up to that man and say that he's, you believe he's your savior. He's your chaos. And QAnon is creating chaos to make you start asking questions and not believing the first thing you hear, but asking the questions with regards to the system. Why is the system working like this? What is going on here? All the information should be brought to the people, not hidden, so that you can go in. They can go in and dig up their dirt on their opponent, because that's what they're doing. Because when they're digging up their own dirt, they're trying to hide their own. But when they're digging up someone else's dirt, right, they're trying to hide their own. Do you think Elon was going in there to do all this great stuff? He was going in to try to figure out how to fucking save himself some money, because he's going down the toilet. You guys, big bad monsters don't like me. You're gonna hide in my closet and go, boo! Yeah, you probably could have somebody try to take me out in that split second, but hey, fuck you, don't care. Probably wouldn't be the first time you tried. Because you do it through your systems. That's why they got the Sexual Sterilization Act. But they'll say, oh, well, that's not in effect. Fuck, it's not. It never went out of effect. You just tried to hide it. This is a spirit to spirit, and those fucking spirits know exactly who I'm talking to. Because spirit's talking to them. And if I'm loose upstairs, I'd rather be loose and seeing what's all going on than be calcified and conformed to a fucking dogma. It's part of, well, I believe in Jesus, I believe in God, oh, holy, holy, holy. Am I making fun of your religion? No. I'm just saying how people are. It's not all people. But I know other people, you all of a sudden, Donald Trump comes in, and, all of a sudden, I found God! Did you really find God? Or are you just just going with the narrative so that you can fit in, and or did you really find God? Do you even know how to truly find God without going and figuring that somebody else is going to get you there? You go sit in front of somebody else speaking about what's in the Bible. Why not go in the Bible yourself and interpret it yourself? Why allow them to take you to certain chapters or certain verses within the Bible? Why not figure it out yourself? People in my family, all are like certain, just not my immediate family, but other parts of my family, all of a sudden we found God. But You're doing the same shit, right? But you found God. Believe me, I had to go through the fucking shit to find it. One King 17:9. And to all that say about all this new age stuff, these are new age and everything like that. Fuck, it's new age. It's the oldest of old. It's just becoming more familiar to people now. Like now, like you can't do that. One Kings 17. Seventeen, 19. Shit, the lighting in here is terrible. It didn't make much of a difference. Okay, what is it? 17, 19, right? 17. Glasses. I think it's so pretty small. It makes me not want to read. Go and live in the village of the Serapeth near the city of Sindom. I have instructed a widow there. And so it's and Bohemia was called the land of Canaan. Sounds awfully close to Canada. Canada. No, it was said Canada was the land of the free, and the reason why they called it the land of the as it was considered the land of the free because when our ancestors left France and were fleeing because it was they were fleeing the religious rush and they were fleeing, so they decided to be part of settlers. The land of the free across the water. You know, when you look at the Underground Railroad, okay, you look at the year that the Underground Railroad started, okay? Because our ancestors were building tunnels. That's what my seventh great granddaddy used to do when they first brought him over on George's Island. to this building was homeless. They were the ones building this. Bien, no puedo ir. Mira, solo consideré. These are the list of people. The list of the people that come over in Cornwallis. Cornwallis is shipped to Halifax, 1749. It's Rizzy Alexander, Bullimore, Belfort, Brotherhood, Canning, Charlton, Everly, Fairlady, London, Mary Jacks, Rusham, Campbell, Willa Merrington, Winchesterly. And this is the list of them all. And these are the lists. Those were mainly British. And this is the list of the ones that come over as we work in settlers. This page would be my 8th great granddaddy on my 7th great grandma's side. And it was said that they were thrown overboard. My 8th great grandma and granny were thrown overboard, which left the kids. They had to go in because their parents were gone. My 7th great grandma, she was 89. Yeah. So to my family that, you want to know all this stuff, then I guess, you need to go through the work yourself. Because anytime I asked for help, I never had any. Not being rude, but, These are all the list. So the thing is, you're fighting over immigration and migrants and what have you. My family drove away. They said that, oh, well, they all, like the conceding ones, they all left and the rest of them just got rid of them. So what did they mean by get rid of them? Because, see, the thing is, when they came here, people were going missing right away. You know, you say about like in Maritimes and Oak Island and what have you about the Templars and the Masons and the church and the Vikings and different like different people coming. Seriously, family members were said to like people were said to have gone missing after getting off the ship, and then all of a sudden they go missing. And people say, oh well, oh, but they just went back. Well, where's the list of them going back? Because if you look at the Underground Railway, okay, the Underground Railroad, it's not that it's a railroad; it was fucking tight tunnels. But a lot of people didn't know that. Across the water, where do you think across the water is? You know, you look at a map of the Maritimes, okay? You know, the end, you have the, Nova Scotia or what have you, okay? Nova Scotia is full of like if you think that there's not tunnels all throughout the capital of Nova Scotia and beyond, qui se t'ouvrait. Seriously. You know, and if you look at the map, you take it and it goes right down. You see, oh well, shit. Oh, it's off. I hate these pop-ups. They should not be allowed. Okay. If you look on the map, okay. So here's Nova Scotia here, and you come down here. Okay. Anyway, wherever Nova Scotia is, where it comes down to the wall. Yeah, right here. Where it comes down. So let's see where that will take you. Okay. Would get you around Boston, Massachusetts, or even get you down to New York. You know, that is where Donald Trump's grandfather had. Oh, shit. And I told you before that, you know, a lot of things. Because the Underground Railway would have also been going to like, Canada and the United States. You know, there's an underground throughout the whole world, and it all connects together. Think of me, or hey, you think we're only 5 years in, or 5,000 years in? You think you're only 15,000 years in? That's been going on for a hell of a lot longer than many people realize. So you're looking at things that, okay, the Underground Railway, was it used for an escape route, or was it a game that, if you got, we'll show you how, but you're going to be chased? You could change your name, but we always know your name, and then you have no identity. That's what they did to the ancestors. The names got spelled differently. My great granddaddy's, well, there's a castle in France, and it's our last name on my mother's side. My ex-husband, he argued with me one day, and like our names are so close, so the only difference is I have an MC. I have two letters ahead of his, but the last part of it is the same. And he would argue with me and tell me that, well, his last name came from my last name, which I had already done. But looking back, and well, his only come about in the 1800s, the early 1900s. See, the way that my name is spelled, it's been around for a very long time. But see, one of my great, yeah, it would have been my great ancestor, would have been an uncle that I believe. He had the MC on the front, but then he took it off, and it became that MC. So I believe that my ex-husband's name comes from my name. He said it doesn't, and then all of a sudden one day he said that it's always like the Mac, or like a prefix that comes at first, and when we drop that, and it's the other name, it's like I never told you that. So it's that part of like really sitting and talking with one another, because everybody has insightful information, right? Whether you're looking at your biblical text or just everyday experiences or everyday learning. It's like you have, like, everybody has a certain way and it works for them. So it's the part of showing each other different ways to approach something, because what may work for one situation, like one thing, well, maybe it's better to have a different perspective, because it may be something that uses less time, less resources, but works just as well, if not better. So it's putting the heads together and coming up with the solution, instead of everybody thinking that, there's only one way of one or two ways of doing it. People's going to find God or come to God when they want, when it's their time. It's an experience that they have to experience for themselves. It's something they have to experience for themselves. We can't tell them what it's like. We can't tell them that it's this way or that way. You can't tell them to believe this way or that way, and to push someone away because they don't have the same belief system as you. You just want to argue about it. Well, that's the foolish part. See, I'm looking at this, and it's like it's almost like where you're getting the up, why you're getting the uprising so much in the United States is because there's 5 to 6 million of Jewish people there. That's I'm looking at it right here, regions with specific populations, and then Israel is 2.8 million, and then that's the highest, and then it goes from that high, and then Russia comes in third at 194,000 to 500,000. So I really encourage people to look in their genealogy. You know, it might be a mind fuck when you're trying to go through it and figure things out because, you know, in those times, they, uh, they all had a lot of the same names. There'd be like 3 or 4 Johns in the family. And I'm talking about the brothers. So in that sense, you look at the Bible, okay? See, there's something that I want to question, like this summer, where the the Bouvier brothers, the trial of the Bouvier brothers. They were my seventh great Grammy's nephews. And the strange thing was that they said that there was 2 of them. But it was that part of, okay, well, like, what happened to the third brother on that day? Because there was a third brother that passed away the same day. And I have it in my thing. Because I was looking through. And oh, wow. So the one who wrote this book, you know, I'd like to talk to you because, you know, it says in there that you're related to both sides. Because going through the genealogy, it was like I was reliving an experience a lot of what my ancestors went through. It was like I was that person. Because the stories just, it was like, holy shit, man. And I started freaking glitching. Like, really, like, holy shit, man. Like, what the, like, holy crap, hang on, you're in for a ride for a moment. And then everything's just like, it's like, holy shit, I feel like my head's going to explode or something. when that happens. It's that full-blown epiphany because it's your ancestors showing you their life. You're experiencing parts of their life, or you're having that memory of it. Because how much do you really remember throughout a day? It's like you speak, and then sometimes it just goes like right now. That's what it feels like it's doing. Se lo chiamo dai, né? Ma solo ci se lo che io resa. Se non morei, il caresce lo che tu dite che tu sai. Yeshorata. You get the connection. That's the center. That's what it's talking about. You know, maybe in this day and age, not a lot of men listen to what women have to say because, you know, we are in Roman times, Hitler times. Napoleon times, who do they call him now? Trump. He's the trumpet, he's sounding. I just got, oh, oh, they hate you being authentic. You know, I find it ironic too because, like, when you look at the Matrix, and they're all talking about like Mr. Smith. Well, my family married into Smith. Well, they married into each other. Quindi tu che essere turisti tutto ya. My channel Spirit. If you don't understand my channel, go read the description of my YouTube channel, Spirit teaching going with himself, and you'll get a better understanding of what I went forward with. Because it's a whole lot of fucking strange. And I'm being honest about it. It's not that I need to be the psychiatric unit because, you know, hey. Nope. They told me on that I'm unexplained, which we're all unexplainable because we're all experiencing something each. You're always experiencing something different. Even if you feel like you're just being still, you're experiencing something. Whether through the eyes, ears, taste, smell, through the, like just your body in general. My ancestors knew all this stuff because on Oak Island they're finding colorful rocks and what have you. They're calling them colorful rocks. I don't think we had a Tumblr then. Holy crap, excuse me. It's coming up. Woohoo, you can see them with the way you Musha, Isane. Holy shit, what's she on? I don't know what she's on, but okay. Then I guess you have to go with words. You have to know yourself and love yourself. Yes, like looks really fucked up, but it's we all go through it differently. But as far as like having that rush, it's because you're free to it, and it what your experience is it's like it's laughable when you be authentic, and as you continue to be authentic, not caring. Like I know I look ridiculous, but I don't care. Am I having a convulsion? No. They're just trying to shake the shit out of me. It's like, it's like, let's electrocute them. Because that's almost in ways of what it feels like. Your body is like everything's firing up. You're lighting up the darkness, you're lighting up the shadows, and you're releasing. So it's like a giggle. And just because you see me go like this doesn't mean that it's going to happen to you. I'm on a much different journey path than you. I had one woman tell me when this started happening in front of her, because I would like saying stuff and it was clicking on her, and my body was starting to, and I told her, and she said, "You're probably experiencing me," because this kind of was like she was almost like, "What have you?" It was like letting it go. And I looked into immigration, and it was reading that it was like in Canada, it was 63,000 a year, and they have it that no more than 100,000 a year, but that's 63,000 is under. But they're saying that, oh my gosh, I really got off for infrastructure. Okay, because that's what a lot of problems are possible too that we're experiencing right now. Infrastructure. The infrastructure is not there because they're suppressing things that could make the infrastructure go a lot faster. And I'm not just I'm talking about like techniques, natural things, so that it's not just a recycling bin. It actually works. That's the part of putting the puzzle together, because I'll tell you right now, where are those puzzle pieces? They're in you. So it's parts of you that when you work through it, then that's when things just flow. Even do this. Seriously, if you're just sitting down and you're in your office or what have you, just kind of just be with yourself and your energy for a moment, and just connect with your own energy. And then you'll start feeling things flow. Isn't it sobre eso, güey? Nadie me la quiere si que me dice no, no, ellos se pueden, que no, si me hay una energía sí, 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 smooth and flow. Boy, am I, eh? just finding my spot. Where exactly is Ryland Communities of Spiria Words? Easy, easy. The most important Jewish communities of those. Rashi uses Rasan Ashkenaz to describe Yiddish. That word, um, that word, whenever I try to spell my mother's name and I speak it, it comes up with this word. Byzantiem. And Syria, Jewish letters referred to as cascade, cascaders. I didn't pronounce that right. Crusades as Archism or Ashkenazi during the 12th century. Yeah, I read about that. Holy shit, man. Crap! Ugh! That was brutal. Ugh! The word appears quite frequently in the Mazral Vitri, the kingdom of Ashkenaz, is referred to chiefly in regard to the ritual of the synagogue there. I didn't pronounce it. But occasionally also with regards to certain other advances. Oh my Jesus. And yes, I did say Jesus. Certain other oh, Jesus couldn't read or write. Ah! Oh crap! Oh, oh. Yeah, I just had a release there. Holy snapping arseholes. Was it the Holy Beach? You know, bear with me. This is the part where everything is channeling right now. And They're saying, keep going. Crusaders. During the 12th century, the word appears quite frequently. Okay. In the literature of the 13th century, reference to the land and the language of Ashkenaz often occur. Examples include Solomon ben in here it has examples including Solomon ben. And was a medieval, or I guess medieval rabbi. Alex Christian. He is widely known as the Russian, the Hebrew Rabbi Solomon ben Abraham. And my 11th great granddaddy was Solomon. He was a rabbi, Rabbi Solomon ben Isaac. See, when you look through things and then you look back at history, you find similarities. And it gets very deep. And then there's Asher. There's an Asher. Jacob. I know we can all relate to this, but when I look back at this trial, it all starts to make sense. Then Asher ben Shihel. Jacob ben Asher. Given the close links between the Jewish communities of France and Germany following the Carolina unification, the term Esgresse came to refer to the Jews of both medieval Germany and France. And my 6th great granddaddy spoke German, French, English, and probably Swiss. And he probably spoke a lot more languages. They just figured that those were the three main languages that he spoke. He said, "Wait, what? Yeah, no, you should ask In later times, the word Eshnikazah is used to designate southern and western Germany, the ritual of which sections differs somewhat from that of Eastern Germany over. Oh, he's a fucking. Yeah, I was right. He is. Like, yeah. I wonder why Donald's always saying he's a witch hunt. Because he's a fucking warlock. Oh! Chiamato che essere un sotto. Ce l'avessi nel mucchio e amore di Ana e tutto questo. Io molto corretto questo. Sì, tutto questo. Dice che esse comunque di anni. See, the thing is, I drew a picture, and it's basically chaos. And then I drew another picture. Era magari il muro. So it's a very significant what did you today? Thus, the prayer book of Isaiah, Uvis, and many others give the him according to the minhag of Ashkenaz and Poland. He had connections to Poland. Like other Jewish ethnic groups, the Ashkenazis originated from the Israelites and Hebrews. Of historical Israel and Judah. Ashkenaz Jews share a significant amount of ancestry with other Jewish populations and derive their ancestry mostly from populations in the Middle East, Southern Europe, and Eastern Europe, and even their origins in ancient Israel. The question of how Elbizines Jews came to exist as a distinct community is unknown and has given rise to several theories. Early Jewish communities in Europe, beginning in the 4th century BCE, Jewish colonies sprung up in southern Europe, including the Aegean Islands, Greece, and Italy. Jews left ancient Israel for a number of causes, including a number of push and pull factors. More Jews moved into their communities as a result of persecution, unrest, and for opportunities in trade and commerce. Jews migrated to southern Europe from the Middle East primarily for opportunities in trade and commerce, following Alexander the Great's conquest. Jews migrated to Greek settlements in the eastern Mediterranean, spurred on by economic opportunities. Jewish economic migration to southern Europe is also believed to have occurred during the Roman period. In 63 BCE, The sage of Jerusalem saw the Roman Republic conquer Judah, and thousands of Jewish prisoners of war were brought to Rome as slaves. You see that after gaining their freedom, they settled primarily as traders. It is likely that there was an additional influx of Jewish slaves taken to southern Europe by Roman forces after the capture of Jerusalem by the forces of Herod the Great, with the assistance from Roman forces in 37 BC. Wasn't he the one that wanted Jesus to live as a baby? Apparently, with by forces of Herod the Great, with assistance from Roman forces. It is known that Jewish war captives were sold into slavery after the suppression of minor Jewish revolts in 53 BCE, and some were probably taken to southern Europe. Regarding Jewish settlements founded in southern Europe during the War era, E. Mary Smallwood wrote that no date or origin can be assigned to the numerous settlements eventually known as, and some may have been founded as a result of the dispersal of Palestinian Jews after the revolt of AD 66 to 70 and 132 to 135, but it is responsible to conjecture that many, such as the settlement in Puduoli, arrested in 4 BC, went back to Great Republic or either earlier empire, and originated in voluntary immigration and the war of trade and commerce. Jewish-Roman wars. The first and second century CE saw a series of unsuccessful large-scale Jewish revolts against Rome. The Roman suppression of these revolts led to wide-scale destruction, a very high toll of life and enslavement. The First Jewish-Roman War, 66 to 73 CE, resulted in the destruction of Jerusalem and the Second Temple. 2 generations later, the Bar Kokhba revolt, 132 to 136 CE, erupted. Judea's countryside was devastated, and many were killed. Displaced or sold into slavery. Jerusalem was built as Roman under the name of India Capitolina, and the province of Judea was renamed Syria Palestina. Syria Palestina was renamed Rome province, formerly known as Judea. following the Rome suppression of the Bar Kokhba revolt in what then became known as the Xi'an region between the early 2nd and late 4th century AD. The provincial capital was Caesarea Maritima. It forms part of timeless a period in the region referred to as Rome Palestine. So under Roman rule, trace period from Civil War BC. There's that Byzantine rule with the Muslim conquest of Libya in the 7th century. Jews were prohibited from entering the city on pain of death. Jewish presence in the region significantly dwindled after the failure of the Bar Kokhba revolt. With their national aspirations crushed and widespread devastation in Judea, disappointed Jews migrated out of Judea in the aftermath of both revolts, and many settled in southern Europe. In contrast to the early Persian and Babylonian captives, the movement was by no means a singular, centralized event, and the Jewish Jeshuriyah had already been established before the Ticks. So, is America being held ransom? During both of these rebellions, many Jews were captured and sold into slavery by the Romans. According to the Jewish history, 97,000 Jews were sold as slaves in the aftermath of the First Revolt. That makes me like talking about slaves, and you see that people are angry at immigrants, because you say they're taking their jobs. Just think about what I just read. Some people think you're not supposed to enjoy your job. You're just supposed to just do it. The best way to proper productivity is by people enjoying their job. I watched a movie one time and they segregated these children. They had them in colors because that's where they would be within the altitude tests. You know, it's that question. Okay, say you have a younger student, right? And say that student is in like grade 2, but they're doing something at a grade 4 level. Are you going to keep them at that grade 2 level? Or are you going to move them to full potential? Because that's where we're supposed to be guiding the children, is to their potential. Open them up to new things. But allow, like, when we allow them to speak it, yeah, listen. Because there are children that are like that. And there are children that get pushed forward that don't understand something. But that's where we should be finding out what it is that they are in search of, what is their talent, natural gifts. And it's not about putting it on someone else, but it's us as parents, as family, to try to like work together. And believe me, I know it's not easy to understand certain people, as it's not easy to understand me, as you all can really tell right now. Like, holy shit, I don't know. Yeah, what the fuck is she saying? Like, she's speaking gibberish. No, que eu tô por ele, que isso não deixa. Isso, que isso não é. Racing, parece, tudo que a puxa, tudo. I just heard, what the fuck? It's like when you got that monkey on your back, you just flick it off. Uh, During both of these, right, Jews were sold as slaves in the aftermath of the First Revolt. In one occasion, Vespasian reportedly ordered 6,000 Jewish prisoners of war from Galilee to work on the SCFness of Greece and Greece. Jewish slaves and their children eventually gave their freedom and joined the full freedom Jewish communities. See, we push each other into compartments. And it gets too, and we start pushing on one another. All right, watch yourself. You get yours, and you get it. So when I go on TikTok and I scroll through, and I see groups of people coming together for the same thing, there's no yelling and screaming, no name calling, just there with one another, seeing things, the same thing, bigger picture. Well, I can't say that fan feels a little better right now. Oh, it's coming from up here. I thought it was coming from there, but it's coming down the vent. See, I figuring out what it is. I'm like all over the place of what I want to do. Because it all interests me. Some stuff, not as much as others. So, we're like, it's in both, but it's like, knowledgeable stuff which I don't read. Certain things I start reading, but I never finish reading. Because people say about being ADHD, okay? Sometimes, like, sometimes it's not about reading the whole book. Because sometimes you don't always have to read the whole book to get out of it what it is that you want to search for in the first place. Whether that makes sense or not. Why do I just heard somebody go, I like reading the ending. Well, why do you anticipate the ending and that you relate to that book? Where you get something out of it and get the message that it's giving you, then why not just keep moving forward on it? Yes, like boy, like all the news my ancestors seen, like almost like the same thing. Late antiquity, many Jews were denied full Roman citizenship until Emperor Paschaliad granted. Correctly granted all free peoples this privilege in 212. Jews were required to pay a full. You know, people are so damn ignorant. Yeah, it's like who ruled in Roman times? No longer ruled by kings, the Romans established a new form of government whereby the upper classes ruled, namely the senators of the equestrians or knights. However, the dictator could be nominated in times of crisis. Sound familiar? Kilito por aqui, tá? Isso aí. Israel. Meu, aqui, ainda. Kilito por isso. Isso que não vai, não é? Some people, yeah, they think, well, you're the money. Well, you're possessed. You must have this, man. We ain't. I just don't you be so goddamn annoying, will you? No, it's like, it is the news, so I guess I'll done. But it wasn't annoying. I just thought that it. Like, yeah, it's the old pastors, like, rotate. I'm talking about the one that this person told me that I had about the old man and shitty. And he is broken. But Jews were required to pay a poll tax for the reign of Emperor Julian in 363 CE. In the late Roman Empire, Jews were free from formed networks of culture and religion ties and enter into various location occupations. However, after Christianity became the official religion of Rome and Constantinople in 380 CE, Jews were increasingly marginalized. So it was like you went forward and you went back, you went forward, you went back. It's like it's time to stop playing your fucking sick little games because we're all fed up and tired of it. Si non știu que ai no cola patarete por isso gitaina. The synagogue in Apulia of Athens, is dated to the period between 267 and 96 CE. The Stabi synagogue in Macedonia was built on the ruins of a more ancient synagogue in the 4th century, while later in the 5th century, the synagogue was transformed into a Christian basilica. And you laugh about it? Scary. And you say they did things? There's been a lot that been said of what you've done. This is spirit to spirit. Like, they know. Hellenistic Judaism thrived in Antioch and Alexandria, and many of these Greek-speaking Jews would convert to Christianity. There's two forms of Christianity at the same time, same as there's two forms of the Jewish communities. You say Judaism. Doesn't matter to me. Because it's a part of understanding. Because if you look at everything has something to be learned from. Sporadic epithetic evidence in grave sites excavations, partially in Brigida, Kunjum, Itacisia, Tamini, Trikini, Sevilla, Sofia in Hungary, and Mercia in Croatia, can't spell it. I'll spell it Croatia. My brain is just like, Uisina Makaina. The rest to preserve the presence of Jews after the 2nd and 3rd centuries, where Roman garrisons were established. And I am going to say it because forms of the British did look up to the Romans. And see, it's that part of was Donald Trump showing up in the heat, like with regards to like it's that war all over again, the French and the British, the Romans and the Jews. And yeah, it's like the weekend. Jewish Christianity. Christianity is even going up against Christianity and Jewish is going up against the Jewish. And that's much of what you're seeing, probably within your political aspects right now, what you're seeing right now. It's that, like I said, and many others have said it, we're repeating history. Our ancestors are showing us exactly what they went through and asking us to be one in the same direction as they It's looking back and seeing what transpired and then the reconciliation. Can you forgive? See, I know I channel a lot of indigenous cultures aspects of it too because of where I'm located. There's a history of this place like 11,000 years ago. And my ancestors lived not far away. So we get put where we need to be put because we're there to help others to understand. I know it all now because I don't know all. I'm looking out my window and right now I'm seeing it's like I'm looking at the trees, but at the same time I'm seeing like different, almost like creations, numbers. And could I draw it? No. And even if I could, I wouldn't do it on here. So now it's back to the trees. What are you seeing on that? Yeah, it's what? Right now, experiencing that, like my body is, it's in my, like with my brain right now, and it's like it's making a expansion motion. Yeah, it's like no. It's like I'm seeing nothing and seeing something all at the same time, but not knowing what I'm seeing at the moment because it's just kind of blank. Yeah, right now I'm feeling it down in the spine here. Yeah, should be also. That is a good. Give it a Dici, come ce l'hai tu, musica? Chi tu qui? Tu turn the lights on while you're rolling. Stiamo facendo, che tu, che si dice? Um, trying to figure out where it was. Okay. There was a significant number of Jews in Peoria to form communities and build a synagogue. Jewish troops were among the Syrian soldiers transferred there and replenished from the Middle East after 175 CE. Jews and especially Syrians came from Aknitush, Puris, and Kibbutz. Others came from Italy and the colonized parts of the Roman Empire. The excavations suggested they first lived in isolation, enclave, enclaves attached to Roman legion camps and intermarried with other similar Oriental families within the military orders of the reign. Well, that sounds like that Hans Maiden movie or something like that. That's freaking weird. And I didn't even watch the movie, I just heard about it. Raphael, yeah, I don't have to like I understand just by what I was told, so it's not about me going to watch. States that the later Rome writers remarked that they differed little in either customs, manner of writing, or names from the people among whom they dwelt, and it was especially difficult to differentiate Jews from Syrians. After Pannonia was ceded to the Huns in 433, the garrison's population was withdrawn to Italy, and few enigmatic traces remain of a possible Jewish presence in the area some centuries later. No evidence has yet been found of a Jewish presence in antiquity in Germany beyond its Roman border, nor in Eastern Europe, in Gaul or Germany itself, with the possible exception of Tyre and Collagen. The agricultural evidence suggests at most a fleet presence of few Jews primarily inherited trades and industries. But let's keep going. Estimating the numbers of Jews in antiquity is a task fraught with peril due to the nature of lack of accurate documentation. So, ¿quién fue? The number of Jews in the Roman Empire for a long time was based on the accounts of Syrian Orthodox Bishop Bar Caburis, who lived between 1226 and 1286 BC. Rivershot is subject to create. In 1286 BC, who stated, who stated by the time of the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 CE, as many as 6 million Jews were already living in the Roman Empire, a conclusion which has been contested as highly aggravated. The 13th century Arthur Bar Henrys gave a fracture of the figure of 6,944,000 Jews in the world. So Celio Remark Baron considered the figure convincing. A figure of 7 million within and 1 million outside the world in the modern first century became widely accepted, including by Louis Milton. However, contemporary scholars now accept the Bar Henrys as based his figure on the census of total Roman citizens and thus included non-Jews. The figure of 6,944,000 being recorded in the U.S. company. Louis Fieldman, previously active supporter of the figure, now states that he and Barron were mistaken. Filio gives a figure of 1 million Jews living in Egypt. Greg Yesurian. It reads the more I read, I get frustrated because we're not seeing each other as names of people. we're seeing each other as gender, race, culture, some ability to say why someone's color. It's like somebody says, like, oh, well, this person down the road, but they won't say the person's name. They'll explain them by their culture. And it's like, these people down the road, or, is that maybe politically correct? Well, that's politically correct for me. You have to do things like you. I used to refer to people that way, and then it was just like, well, I always talk to this person, I always talk to this one, this or what have you. Sometimes it may happen, but I catch it's like, no, it's creating. And it's because we've been trained to see one way or another. Wait, don't keep that extreme. I feel like taking one of these. They're good when you crunch it and you drink coffee. I'm like my mother, and that's it. We'll drink cold coffee. Cold coffee is actually better than hot coffee. Sometimes because it just sits a little longer. Right now, I feel like there's like it's like when a child needs to go to the bathroom, they're right dancing. This is really long. You know, okay, the thing is, if you're remotely, if you're curious about that, your ancestral, for stuff like that, because I'm getting adjusted, you actually learn to understand the different religions, even if you haven't lived it. If you find out something, just take a glance at it, have a look, and just give yourself that moment to try to understand what it is that the message is conveying to you. You may get a different message from it, as somebody else may get a different message. Que me trae un especially isso, Juliana. Se eu não chutei essa, vai. Deixa eu ver se é, botar. Right now, energy move. So, como futuro, I'm connected to my body. So, it's like rolling. It's like you're not only circulating your arms and hands, but you're circulating your energy up in here. Desde que eu tô aí, que é uma progressão, isso é todo. Don't forget to donate pamphlets. Seriously, they should be free. That's what we do. It's like, what are you doing, lady? You're just moving your arms around. No. If you understood energy, you'd know exactly what I was doing. So, Mm. Oh, jeez. I closed one as I thought he was going to fall on the floor. Oh, shit. Well, it's a hairy. He's up there covering up and I can smell his food. It smells good. I don't eat meat though. Oh, I eat fish and eggs. And I eat some seafood. I just got the feeling of going seafood and open my mouth. It was like when you're a little kid, or like somebody said you want some seafood, and it's like, ah, there's their seafood. Oh my gosh, it's like right in there. I'm thinking like right in the rib area. So it's like yellow gas. This is just on video talking about political stuff. Oh, take your mind to meditation. No, it's I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I know it's like, yeah. had the right flow. You know, you feel like you're in your deepest moment. It's looking at the strength that it took you to get to where you are. If you could use that much strength, then no matter how down you get, you can pull into that strength so that it brings you up more and more. And I just got screaming right there. It's like, yeah, it's easier said than done. Trust me. But in order for that to happen, that's that healing process when you just scream there. Right? Someone told me just the other day that, you know, they don't want to show emotion. But emotion is that release. And if you don't allow that emotion to take place, that's when it builds up to a violent emotion. Because most people, they scream or cry. Sometimes I feel like I'm going around here like a mad lady, and I just want to take everything and just go right off. And it's like if you watch the series Once Upon a Time, is when Rumpelstiltskin took his cane and all of his shelves were all gone, and he took it. He just started smashing the whole place. So it's like it's that inner feeling of no escape. And when you get that inner feeling of no escape, that means that you're being told you need to sit with yourself. Because our first fear is being able to sit with ourselves because we're always overthinking too much. But that's because you're always in your head and you're never speaking with your heart. Yeah, my head's like, because I'm feeling it's all moving up here now. So it's like my neck is tight and it's like, oh my gosh, is my head going to cord off? It's like, okay, who's trying to pop the pimple? What do you think? Movie's fine. Zit on board, yeah. I heard that. I got to zit on board. Gusto rin mo siya kinamaitan? Luisa, suway daw na yan. Wow. Yeah, it was like a little, it was like I was trying to pull an Elvis lip, but oh my gosh. Like I'm feeling it all right here, right now. And it's just like, you know, it's like, wait, look, yeah, it's just sweet. City of Hamilton. Boy. And the, yeah, he's an old bastard too. Yeah. Come mi siliao tuoi. Boş ver evliyim. Dur tuoi. Oh, Dios. Oh, he's so miserable. He don't like everyone. It's that part, you know, they say like you're taming the beast and you're taming that beast within yourself. Okay, because it's that that's from you. Well, oh crap. Oh. like right up there. Boy, boy. Questa questa We're done. Did you ever watch it's The Good Omen and towards the end Gabriel a fly because the fly come out of his eye or it come out of his mouth, and that's why I was like looking like a fly. But the fly had its memory. Queria português, não tossi. Isso daqui será de great. Que tá, torcia. Assim, não mudou. Just told you vibration. Frequency. Who beat the guy? Super. Just put it out. It's that physical, like, yeah. Keep on going. Brush your teeth makes your brain smarter. I don't know, maybe that looks cleaner. I use one of those filters and it made my teeth look really like white. They look nice though. That's maybe why it looks so phony. But I need that good white movie teeth stuff. Or I need to stop drinking coffee with it because I can't say wine because I don't get wine on the clothes. I don't know. He must be drinking. See, when I was reading the books, I said that yeah, I'll leave that for later. But I did get a good book, and I got cards, but I don't read them right now. But let's see if this is the only book I'll ever need. See, this is stuff I'd like to learn, but right now, it feels like I don't have the patience to learn it, or it's just, I'd rather be able to see the stars, see the lineup. But I think it's cool that people that do like the astrology and that, it's cool to be able to read the stars because the planets had to read stars. Everyone navigated. Did you ever look for a star with your name on it? Or have you ever got one of those? Because mine blew up. Yeah, there was a planet, like, it's not a lot in the thing, but it was a planet that was named Terra. and it imploded. Like a lot of other things. And I don't know why I'm going on this topic. I guess because I see the astrology book. So you see how, like, when you recognize what you're doing yourself, that's when you realize that you're starting to understand your ADHD. So then you'll be able to catch yourself with it. Right now, I know I have a lot of spirits that are like real antsy. It's like, kuya mo ko suto. Kila duri te siya ni siki kuya mo ko sita. Kuya. I don't know what kind I got. I got love, armor, or amour, musk, and honeysuckle. But I don't know which is which. Fingers. That doesn't smell like much. That one made my nose twirl, so. Well, I guess I'm done for now. And I don't know if I'll be back in tonight or tomorrow or something to just channel languages. So, with that being said, I'm sending you all much love, light, many blessings, health, support, and very good health to anyone who never been possible listening to that. Most love, be thankful, great, most importantly, be yourself, be your authentic self, be true to yourself, be kind to yourself, be true to yourself and others, and kind to yourself and others. I know that you're more strength. You can comprehend at times. And I know right there it just sounded like it was all phony. So if you don't think I don't know that, like seriously, it's because it's getting it out quick and you have those brain stutters because sometimes it's like it just all wants to come out at once. So it's like people aren't lining up for waiting their turn to speak. Okay, apparently it's right. Boy, let's go for a ride. Surfing you out there. Go with the flow, man. Okay, good night. Kisses to Puri, Tanisha Rasuraim. Goodbye.